Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor. Hello and welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingo. This week on Fixing South Sudan, fixing the police service. What is being done to prepare the police in the era of the peace implementation? And joining us in the program is General Majak Akech, Inspector General of South Sudan Police Service. It's our pleasure to welcome him to Fixing South Sudan for the first time. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm all right.
Yeah, welcome. We are here to talk about the South Sudan Police Service. There's a lot to touch on, but the talk nowadays is peace implementation. November 12th is the date. Whether it will happen or not is another ball game altogether. But the security forces, organized forces, have to be prepared for the peace implementation.
Yes, thank you very much, Madingor. And this is a very important program. And I thank you also for inviting me to come and attend this session of today on the issue to do with the implementation of the repartalized peace agreement in the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, the readiness of South Sudan National Police Service, as well as the organized forces in the Ministry of Interior in the Republic of South Sudan. First of all, let me also thank the SSBC and the people who are actually initiating the fixing South Sudan. The fixing of South Sudan is a collective responsibilities, and also we have a bigger role to play and also to contribute in the development of this country, peace and stability of this country. For us in the organized forces, we are ready for implementation of this peace as we have been directed by the leadership of the country to restore peace and stability, protect civilians with their properties across the country, then be ready to receive our people and armed groups who will be actually integrated and unified into our ranks and files within South Sudan National Police Service, and maybe also from opposition group to SSPDF and all other organized forces in the country. And for us, as we have taken an initiative this week, we have called for all police commissioners of states that are here now in Juba, and will be in a position actually to brief them on how best that will be actually ready to receive and unified the other armed groups who will be actually integrated into our forces, and will brief them whenever they go back to their states. They will be ready to implement peace. And
let me ask you about your readiness in terms of percentage. Would you say you are 100% ready, 80%? And if it is less than 100%, why?
Well, I cannot just tell you that we are 100% ready because of the economic challenges that we have in the country. But we are trying our level best so that we can be able to do our best according to our constitutional mandate being given to us according to law. So it is because when you say that you are 100% ready, it means that you are ready even your logistical part. But our logistical part are not actually in place because of economic challenges, as we know. But whatever that we can do, it is in place. The readiness that I'm telling you, our forces are fully oriented, that we will actually form the government, maybe on day 12, if not be, and then we'll receive the new ministers. And then our new officers also will be integrated or maybe be unified from other armed group to our forces. And then we'll also be ready to receive our citizens from our neighboring countries who have just actually been refugees to our neighboring countries. They will be actually returning back home. And we'll be ready also to build up the security so that they should build also a confidence so that they live in their houses, in their residential areas, going back to a state of origin within the country so that they feel or maybe they felt that they are being protected by the police. Whenever there is war, this is where the army will take lead. Then when there is peace, the police will take lead.
And
for us now,
yes,
we are actually ready to take lead in this implementation piece of repartized peace agreement.
You mentioned a key word, confidence building, and the goal is to make this peace to be workable this time around. And the RCIS talks about VIP protection on the military side, but also on the police side.
Well, the SSPDF leadership, together with the organized forces, head of organized forces, plus other mechanisms who have actually been formed according to the agreement, are working day and night to make sure that the peace implementation is implemented as it is. And we must make sure that the protection units, the BIP protection units, are trained on time, and then they have to be graduated in order to come and perform their duties and commands within their mandate according to the agreement. And we are working together within the context of the agreement. And I'm also a member within Joint Defense Board as JDB, as known as JDB within the agreement. And we are working together with CDF and other members within Joint Defense Board, including IO and SOA, so that we must make sure our people are actually unified, the forces are unified, and we have to make sure that the forces of BIP protection unit are formed in order to make peace and confidence building among ourselves. And this is what we are been after, to make sure that these forces are unified. And as we speak, the registration has already been over, and the people have already been cantoned into cantonment site. And the training, I think, it might have been commenced this week, and it will actually be faster, and they will be passed out so that they come and join us within the duties in the towns.
Let me ask you about your time in the police service. Each leader has its mark. Every time a new leader comes, there is some kind of a change or an attitude. What has been your attitude since you came? What have been your priorities?
Well, my priorities, I think, are well known, and many of them have already been seen by the people. I was appointed by the president last year on the 16th of February 2018, together with the promotion at the same date. When I came in and I was sworn in, I was told in the first place that issue to do with unknown gunmen in Juba, you have to get rid of unknown gunmen in Juba. There was an organization that formed themselves that killed and terrorized people in Juba in particular. And then these organizations, I think it is not yet in place up to today. So we have arrested many of them, and many of them are now in jail. And the court, GCM, has been formed by the excellent the president of the country. And it was the initiative of the police when I came in. So to get rid of unknown gunmen.
You have been able to identify the unknown gunmen.
So we made them to be known, in a sense, being unknown.
Who are they?
So they are there by their names. The accused are now in the prisons, and many of them are trial, and some of them are underway.
Are they organized or they are a hitmen?
There are actually been a personnel who are indisciplined within our ranks and files within the organized forces, some of them. Some of them were actually untrained people, but they were armed, naming themselves to be unknown gunmen and kill people. So it is not one particular group that will be actually pointing a fingerprint that these are the people who have been naming themselves to be unknown gunmen, but we have identified them, we made them to be known, and are there. Without details, those people are under prisons and are now been under process of legal process as for now. Secondly, there was a second group that named themselves to be criminals, after unknown gunmen being actually known, and we eliminate that name. So the criminal also making some practices, criminalities within the communities, try to rob some cars and looting the cars, also other atrocities within the communities, terrorizing the situation. So we become also to know these criminals who are there. Many of them who are the ringleaders of those have been apprehended. Many of them now are facing the justice and they are under justice and they are in prison. Then this is the second group. The third group is also the people who name themselves to be niggers, the young children under age. So these are also people who are disturbing the situation. So also in Juba. We are also trying to crack down this also group, and it is also been eliminated, and some few who have been active, they are not active to such an extent like last time before, but we are trying also to cap them down. This criminality called niggers or maybe the Toronto, these are the third group who also form themselves but are not armed.
What have been your modality for cracking down on the cells?
The modality of cracking down of this group, first of all, some of them are our family members. So they have not just come from outsiders.
They are South Sudanese.
They are South Sudanese. I said when they are South Sudanese because they will be a family members of each and every one of us. For us, we create an awareness. We have an awareness. We have an interview every week, 4 times a month. So creating an awareness. This is one. 2.
This is in the community?
This is within the community, and we have also community policing. We have formed a community policing, and we have also been...
And what are you telling the community?
We are telling the community so that they can be able to control their children. They can also to be actually talking to their children. They can also be able also to inform the police, cooperating with the police when the crime happen in any place, so that they can be able also to inform the police, so that the police come and comment and maybe crack down the criminals and arrest them. So this is thought of awareness and practices of awareness. We are actually underway, making it to our communities, sensitizing it to our communities, and we are making this as a program.
Are they responsive?
Yes, they respond. Yeah, they respond. And the second thing that we have also been doing, as the police will make a deployment across the residential areas within Juba. And we also make a night patrolling and also the day duty that we are also touring within the town in order to make also a patrolling, intensive patrolling within the town, making sure that there are no practices that are related to criminal activities within the residential area. And there is this lack of cooperation sometimes among our citizens. So they don't call when the crime happened. So you just receive a call like if the crime has already been happened and it has been a past. This is also one of the things that we are also always appealing to our citizens, so that they should also cooperate with us in order to get an information while the cases are still fresh. This is one of the things that we are also facing.
So that you can take action immediately.
We can take action immediately.
Why don't we take a break from here?
Are you looking for a quality media company in South Sudan? Have you heard of Dolco Media? Well, look no further. At Dolco Media, we fix any event for you. We provide top general video coverage for you using our state-of-art equipment, including our unique digital video mixer and the crane tripod. Would you like quality photography? We can fix it for you. Would you love to have a first-class wedding? We can also do it for you at an affordable price. Oh, would you like to laugh? We can also make you do that. Contact us now on 0920 007 515 or visit our office located within Peace Hospital in Juba to receive our quality digital technology service.
Dolco Media, we fix the nation.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor, and with us is General Majak Akech, the IGP of the South Sudan Police Service. We welcome him back to the program. We are talking about the difference that you have been making since you assumed the office, and you have just given us a picture showing us how much progress has been done, but a lot remains to be done.
Well, thank you very much once again, Madingor. A lot have remained to be done, as you have put it. The theme is fixing South Sudan.
Yes.
Fixing South Sudan, you can put your ideas, you can put your contribution, then others will do whenever you have stopped somewhere. For me, when I came in, the first agenda that I have to implement is to make sure that our citizens in the Republic of South Sudan are in a peaceful environment, secure and well protected. This is the theme of my mission.
How is the reality?
Two,
How is the reality of the protection?
The reality to protect the citizens with their properties is to crack down the criminals, as I put it earlier. That
You are doing your best, but it's definitely not eliminated.
But the criminality should not be eliminated for all. Whenever the people are living, the criminalities can happen, but some few. The only good thing that you can do as the police and maybe the organized forces. So when the criminals happen to commit the crimes, then they should be apprehended. So you cannot just completely eliminate the crimes, should not happen, even the traffic incidences can be actually happen. But the best thing is whenever the crime happen, then the responsible person that committed a crime should be actually apprehended.
The responsiveness has to be
Has to be there.
Right. Now,
So there are no...
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but since we are running out of time, let's address the key issues. You just mentioned the idea that civilians are not cooperating with the police. They don't alert you when a criminality happens. Is it because there is a lot of mistrust between the civilians and the police? That's why?
This is not true as such. And I think when I came in February last year, I immediately conducted the police conference. That was in April 17, if I can remember. And we have invited all our chiefs, all our police commissioners, our leaders, including the Excellency the President, who have just opened the workshop by then. And our themes of that workshop last year, it was a reform and transformation and building trust with citizens or our population. That was our themes. And I think we have implemented it. But in some cases, I'm not actually complaining that our citizens, they don't report. But in some cases, they don't report. You can just go and hear, like, even if some allegations have been there, someone has been raped, somebody has been looted, somebody has been actually been wounded, but it has not been actually reported by a time when this crime is happening.
Are you denying that those crimes are happening?
Those crimes are not been happening anymore, although there are some few cases maybe, and when they are not reported, we can just say it is a zero-tolerance crimes. When they are reported, this is where we can record the number of crimes whenever they are reported. But whenever it is not reported, we can just report that we have a zero-tolerance crimes. Like these days, we have no any criminalities that are happening in Juba. So accept only these traffic incidences. These are some few cases that have been happening.
I will come back to the traffic incidences, but for you, the IGP, it was said that these days there's no criminality in Juba when daylight robberies are happening. Even in the last 1 week, I have heard of one. This is something that is happening. Why is it happening?
Well, whenever it is not reported, as I put it earlier, you cannot just assume maybe there is the report that happened. One or two cases happening. You cannot just eliminate the crime without being happening maybe some crimes that are not happening. I cannot just deny that there are no crimes that have been happening. But they have reduced to an extent that we are in peace.
I have seen a report saying that the level of criminality in Juba these days is unimaginable. That people can be courageous to attack places in broad daylight. That must be a serious thing.
If it has brought into our attention.
And if it is not brought into your attention, it is not happening.
And if it is not brought into our attention, we can dispute the information that it might have not been true. So if anything that happened, it should have reported to the police. But we did not receive any reports, except the report that you talk about, the robbery. And we are still running up to them up to now. There is robbery that happened somewhere, in one of the companies. But this is something to do with the crimes, and the information that we are getting, we will reach to the criminal who actually commit the crimes.
The traffic incidences you are referring to is happening when there is joint police deployment and citizens are asked logbooks, and if the logbook has expired, then they are told to take the vehicles to Bullock, and sometimes you cannot be sure whether that is the truth or not.
It is.
What can you say about this whole logbook misunderstanding, if we should put it mildly?
Well, these things have been happening, and we have been directed actually to cross-check the registrations of vehicles. It is because it has come as a result of criminality that happens that we have experienced about 3 cases that happened. The people just use driving a car at a daylight, and then they came, then you can just stand, then get out with guns and shoot people and run away with undocumented vehicles. So you cannot identify who is that using that vehicles. So with these, we have actually directed them, and it has to be enforced, so that everybody who are actually using a cars, the motor vehicles, so that they have to be actually registered. And sometimes within this crackdown of vehicles, when we are trying actually to cross-check the registration of vehicles, we have identified many vehicles who have been actually been stolen from their car owners. And within this checking that we are making, we are trying now to recover many cars who have been actually stolen and looted some time back, and being returned to the owners, to the car owners. So through this checking, and I cannot just dispute when the implementation is being abused by our soldiers, then this is one of the cases that we want as responsible people and the commanders of those personnel and officers, so that these criminalities that also been implemented in a way that our implementation is not correct, then we need actually to be informed.
And the abuse you are talking about, the police officers, they extort money from the civilians. If your logbook has expired, even though the details are matching, then they ask you to pay or be taken to Bullock, in which case people always pay. They bribe the police. Is that the abuse you're talking about?
Yes, these such practices are happening. These are the cases that we want as responsible people, so that these people who are spoiling the name of the police, the name of the organized forces, and the orders by themselves being issued to them, then these are the people we need them to be weed out among ourselves.
And the other excess that is happening is that civilians are beaten up at night. It has happened at various points where when there's a misunderstanding, automatically people take law into their own hands.
If they are reported, it will be addressed immediately. Like one case that I had one time from one of the officials, it was checked in Green Racon, near to Green Racon in Malakia. Then our personnel tried to ask some money from him. And then he also tried to pay the money were being asked by the police or maybe by the soldiers by then. And it was a mixed forces. And there was some personnel from national security, we have also from the army, we have also from the police. So he pay about 5,000. And then immediately, whenever he leave them, then he called me. I even come by myself, and I arrest them at the same time. And those people that are now being counted according to law, because we'll actually account them, and they will not do that mistakes one
But
again.
what about those whose
Yeah.
IGP is not their friend, the normal citizen?
I think...
What would be your general advice to the citizens on how they should behave when approaching a night patrol?
This was, let me just correct the first question that you might have thrown, that if you are not a friend to IGP. Those people who have just called me, they are not a friend to me. I'm the IGP of South Sudan, and I'm ready to serve every citizen living in the Republic of South Sudan, leave alone the citizen of South Sudan, even the foreigners who are living here. I'm the responsible person who is responsible of the police to restore peace and order.
But not everyone has your number.
But there is number that is actually been on air. So you can just call 112.
You are monitoring that.
Yeah, 112, it is been on 24 hours in a day. Whenever you call 112, then you might have reached the police. Not necessarily that you can call IGP in particular. So you can just call 112.
And you are listening in.
I'm listening. So 112, they can respond immediately without even asking the directive from me. They can immediately respond. So this is for your information. And this is also, I can also advise our citizens so that they can be able to call 112. 112 is 24-hour service.
To keep the friendship between the citizens and the police and the joint operations, how should civilians behave at night?
Well, the civilian should actually cooperate to an extent that whenever you are asked to stop, then you can stop. Avail whatever document that is been actually required from you. And then if people gone out of law, then misbehaving, then you can just call 112. Stop from there and then call 112. If there is something out of law, want to be enforced on you, then you can just stop from there, call 112.
And how fast can you respond?
If it is not matter of roads are wrapped in Juba, then you can be there within 3 to 4 minutes, if within the town. If it is far, like even if maybe like Gudele, like Muraba Kamsa, Muraba Sita, and far as places, when the road are wrapped, it can be 7 to 10 minutes to reach there, because we have deployed all our mobiles in the all residential areas. Then the nearest mobiles to the incidents can be directed by 112 from there.
Let's end on this note. This whole idea of revitalizing the agreement also means revitalizing every aspect of the society. And on revitalizing the police service, we know that there's a lot of, there's always a report about ghost workers, those who are not there. The police is being trained in thousands, graduated in the thousands, and the parade is full, but you find very few people actually on duty. So what do you think we need to do to ensure that the police is sort of professional?
Well, to have a professional police in the country, it is through training. And we'll train our police. And we have already started since I came. And I think you might have witnessed how many badges that have been graduated so far. So the training is the one that will transform the police through training, through accountability. And we have also formed the committee to screen, making a headcount, as for now is in progress within the police forces, so that we can be able to know the statistic figure of the police working in the Republic of South Sudan, those who are the students, went for leave, those who are sick, those who are died, who are the diseases, those who have been actually been in old age, those who are actually absentees, those who rebel, those who are actually present, those who have been actually went for medical attention. So the screening now is ongoing within the police forces, but we are also making transformation through training. This is what we are actually doing, to be a professional police. So after this integration, whenever this integration is finished, then we'll make the intensive training so that we can be able to transform the police through training.
Is it possible to fix the police service and to fix South Sudan?
Why not? We are actually ready to fix South Sudan through training in the South Sudan National Police Service.
Have you been fixing South Sudan?
We are fixing. We are fixing.
Thank you very much
Thank you
for
very
coming
much.
to the
Thank
show.
you.